Hello and welcome back everyone. Today is the 2nd of November 2021 and it's 1 minute past 9 UK time. So within the next 14 seconds I think we will get the close of today's daily candle. So update you on the current trades that I took. So this is what happened. Gbp NZD, if you remembered from yesterday's video, we were in profit for £9 odd, which was 170 something pips. I didn't move my stop loss. After I saw the activity today, I actually moved my stop loss to break even, and as I suspected, price came all the way back and hit the break even and went further up. So out of that trade with 83 pence in profit. Euro NZD was a loss. So what have I learned this week? So as I was explaining to everybody last week that I had been working on the weekly time frame, and I was trying to figure out the significance of the weekly time frame with according to the candlesticks. So if you look at the Euro NZD, I actually entered a sell, okay, but I actually entered the sell very late, and I should have actually been looking for a sell possibly around this area here. So this is what I've learned so far, that on the weekly, if you get a significant move where price crosses the SMAs, it's reflected on the daily. The price action is reflected on the daily, and you could expect in the coming days or the weeks ahead price to actually move in that direction. So price did move, as you can see here. So you could have got into a trade here, you could have got into a trade here, but actually getting into a trade here was actually wrong. And especially on this candle here, this is a bullish candle, and it's signifying possible start of a pullback. So actually entering a sell at that point was a huge mistake on my part. But like I said, you are not going to become a profitable trader without taking losses. You see, the losses, I believe that the losses are the ones that are actually teaching you where you went wrong in the trade. They're actually helping you to see the market more clearly and understand it. So I've come to realize that the weekly time frame is going to be my main observation time frame. So I am going to be following the weekly as my ultimate directional bias. I found the monthly to be just too slow. Overall, it's a downtrend, as you can see here on the monthly, but the weekly has enough waves in it to be able to let you trade on the lower time frames, and my preferred choice of time frame is the daily. I did look at the 4 hour. I did look at the significance of the 4 hour, and I actually only see benefit in the 4 hour, say for example here. So when price broke here, I would have put a sell limit order, hoping for the price to come back and you know, get me into the market at a better price. But I wasn't able to get that here, and the signal actually produced later on here. But if I got into the trade earlier on, I would have been able to get in because there was valid signals up there. But if you go down to the 4 hour, I've noticed that the signal would have been produced countless times. So like here it produced the signal, but the problem is you would have been stopped out most likely here because you're going 2 to 1. So 48 pips, 50 pips you would have been taken out there. So I do understand on the 4 hour, so if you did get taken out there, you would get another chance. You have various chances to actually get into the market on the 4 hour. So I still find that the 4 hour reacts in a major way to news. So when there are news releases, I still see the 4 hour being manipulated according to the news quite significantly, but I don't see that on the daily. So that's why I choose to actually trade on the daily. It's just so much clearer, and the signals, when you've got the signal, then it's most of the time it's a clean signal and you don't have to worry about moving your stop loss. Whereas there, I would have been on the 4 hour, every 4 hour I would have had to come back to my computer and I would have had to place a trade. So realistically, it's not convenient for me to actually go down to the 4 hour. So that's my conclusion on the weekly time frame, and that's what I've found out, that the weekly time frame is actually telling me well in advance which way the market is going to go. So currently on the weekly, I do not see a opportunity to buy into this down move at the moment. If I was actually observing the market from here, then I would have had 1-2 chances of getting into this market. Currently here, I do not want to get into the market, so I'm going to wait to see what this week's candle is like, and if it is a bullish candle, maybe that is signifying a pullback, a possible pullback. So I will wait and see what happens with this pair. Now that I've got that out of the way, we're going to move on to the next pair. So I'll explain to you what happened with this pair. This pair, the trade actually closed 7 pips. I closed it at 7 pips. Now the reason why I closed at 7 pips, I looked at this candle, okay, I observed the pullback and I looked at this candle, and what happened was, this one of those trades, I think it was this one, wasn't it? 7, was it this one, or let me just check which one it was that closed today. Which one was this now? Yeah, I think it was this one. Yeah, the Euro NZD. It was minus £4 something, and this was way up here next to quite next to my stop loss. Now at that moment I was thinking, well, you know, the people, they talk about correlation, and maybe because the GBP actually turned, maybe I was gonna get stopped out on the Euro NZD. So to preserve my capital, to not get to this is all psychological, so that this is what happens, and I need to improve on my skill of being patient. So what happened here was, as I saw it coming back, I thought to myself, well, it's gonna hit my stop loss anyway, so I might as well just close it early, because all of the GBP pairs were quite bullish today. So I closed it. So I broke my own rule. And then what happened later on today, just a couple of hours ago, I think it was about 6:30 in the evening UK time, I actually checked the Euro USD, and it didn't go anywhere close to my stop loss. It just totally turned, and it's come back down again. So I definitely would have been still in profit, obviously by probably £1 or two, but still, this trade would have probably be the one to actually mitigate the losses that I occurred during this week. So it just goes to show how psychologically, if you're not prepared mentally and you don't stick to your game plan, how it can influence your choices that you make in trading. No one would think that something like this is possible, but it's actually possible, and it actually happened to me today. So I guess that when you look at some of these YouTube videos and you hear people speaking about this kind of stuff, it's actually real. I do believe that losing a trade can affect your decision on another trade that you have running, if you don't check yourself, if you don't keep yourself in line, keep yourself in check, then you're likely to make a mistake. So how did I rectify this mistake? What I did quickly, I observed the charts again. I saw the bearish candle. I went back to my daily candle, and I saw, okay, price came up right here and come back down, so it's near enough at the same level, but just a bit below my initial entry price. So what can I do? So I went down to the 4-hour, and I thought, okay, this is where I can test out the 4-hour, and I can test out the way I enter into the market, if it will work on the 4-hour for me. So I placed at this break of candle here, I've placed a limit sell just right there. Okay, so I'm hoping that it gets triggered. It may get triggered, it may not get triggered. Maybe I'm too late, because the market's already started to move. If it does get triggered, then I guess I'm lucky, and I've gone for a 2-to-1 as always. As you can see, 48 pips, so that's £3.52, and you can see, just one moment please, and that's 23 pips, which is £1.75 if my stop loss is hit. So I hope that explained the situation that I had on the Euro USD. Now moving on to AUD Chef. So analyzing the weekly chart, I can see a strong bearish candle being produced here. So realistically, what I want to do now with the new knowledge that I've managed to gain is I'm going to wait patiently and wait for this confirmation candle to actually finish printing. After it does, I will be waiting on the daily time frame for a sell. Now, a lot of people might say, well, if this closes, then why don't you just use the 4 hour and see if you can. The thing is, the 4 hour is going to put a timer on myself. It's going to put a timer on me where I have to come back to my desk or my phone once every 4 hours just to check and manage my trade, which is something I do not want to do. My aim is to be able to set a trade and then walk away from that. And I want to be able to do what I want to do during the day and not think about what my trade is doing. So in order for me to do that, I would have to trade on the daily, and it just makes complete sense to do that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait patiently on the daily time frame. Now I can see on the weekly, we can see this support zone here, which was a resistance, but currently it looks like it's turned into a support area. So if this does close, and in the coming week, if it doesn't produce a solid sell signal, then obviously I'm gonna have to carry on following it to see what happens. Maybe it will establish support and then break above and carry on moving up. So that's the AUD chef for me. I'm currently waiting for a setup. Moving on to the Aud Jpy. So we're currently on an uptrend, moving up nicely, and it looks like prices did close higher than this previous high, but this week may be a beginning of a pullback. So I'm going down to the daily and I can see that is the case. I can see sideways movement on the daily, and prices actually closing lower than this low here. So now this is possibly going to be a pullback, so maybe it will just go sideways here, maybe it'll pull back a bit, but eventually I know that it will resume its direction towards the upside, but also that may change. It doesn't, because it's above the MAs. My directional bias has to be to go along with the trend. So this is what I'm anticipating, that after the pullback we should get a nice buy signal, and if that is confirmed on the weekly, then I would be patiently waiting for the daily to produce that buy signal. So currently I'm waiting for Aud Jpy for a buy setup to occur. Now on the 4 hour, as you can see, this, if this closes bearish, okay, you could go to the 4 hour and then look for a entry to sell. Now on the 4 hour you do have enough space, as you can see, for prices to move down. Now when I look at it, it is very, very tempting. And why is it tempting? Because greed takes over. When I'm looking at it like this, it's like, wow, you can make so much money, you know, why don't you this and that, take the trades on the 4 hour. But I don't want to do that. That's just greed. You know, that's just the need for getting into the trade because you want to make a lot of money, and it's not actually, you're not actually then focusing on your skill and improving. So you know, I'm gonna wait on the daily, and overall my mindset is good. I'm feeling good. Reason being, I did start off with £300. I did take it up to £60. Now I'm down to £337. So I'm still in profit. I'm not doing bad. I'm actually doing quite good. So you know, let's wait and see what actually happens. So I think we were on Aud Jpy. Yes, we were on Aud Jpy. So we're gonna wait and see what happens here in the coming week or days. Moving on to Chef Jpy. Weekly is a buy, as you can see. Okay, this trade as well, late getting into it, should have been here. Okay, and then we should have been holding this trade until it gets to its desired target. So this is another one that I will be waiting patiently for the pullback, and I'm hoping prices are gonna go higher, and you know, I'm confident that prices are gonna go higher, but we may see a major, you know, pullback, and that's Forex, isn't it? Trading, that's what you can never predict 100% what's gonna happen. But I do believe prices are going to go higher, so we'll wait and see whether I'm right. Moving on to the AUD CAD. On the weekly, we can see that prices are moving down. We have just had a pullback, and as I suspected, that this is going to carry on going down, and it looks like my predictions are right, that we are going to see a move down. So I will wait patiently when this candle closes this week, and hopefully during next week, I think it is, we should get a nice setup for a sell. So I'm going to move on to the next pair, which is a USD Jpy. So USD Jpy, as you can see, we are at a weekly resistance level. Now we've already received one bearish candle, and then we ended up getting a bullish candle which didn't close higher, and now it's looking like another bearish candle is going to be formed. So in the coming days, we may see actually price going in the opposite direction. Okay, so now when would I get into such a trade? When it's coming off a support. So now what I'm gonna do is, I believe that there's gonna be a lot of price action that's gonna happen around here. While that's happening, I'm gonna let the MAs catch up. So the MAs will catch up to the price because they always do. Okay, and then what's gonna happen is we will receive hopefully a candle like this. Okay, that will close between the 10 moving average. So when this happens, okay, I would start to look for a sell opportunity. Okay, If the sell opportunity does not produce itself in the daily, then I would go back to the weekly to see what's happening. And now then this candle here would have confirmed that actually the market is looking to move to higher prices. Now, does that mean it is going to move higher? No, it's just this is what is giving you a edge. That's how I see it, that it's giving you a edge in the market. So I would have moved to the daily and I would have waited patiently for a buy setup, which hopefully would have come into play, and that would tell me actually where my market is heading currently. So after receiving this bearish candle here, I wouldn't have done anything because this signifies a pullback. This is signifying to me that possibly we will get another chance to get into a market with another trade. So that also hasn't happened. So this means now that there's something else going to go on here. Either they're going to carry on producing price action, there's going to be a lot of buying and selling pressure, and then finally they'll make a move in either direction. So excuse me guys, I'm just going to take a bite of my sandwich. Okay, so I'm currently waiting for the USD Jpy to see what happens with this pair. We are at a major area. I believe a lot of traders are watching this level here, so please stay tuned to see what happens with this pair and which way we trade. Moving on to the Euro JPY. Okay, so the Euro JPY is moving up nicely, and we did get a bearish signal here, signifying a possible pullback. So we are getting a pullback, and currently I will wait to see how this candle closes this week. If the candle closes in a if it closes as a bullish candle, that could actually indicate a possible buy opportunity. So we will wait and see what happens. Okay, so moving on to the next pair, which is the AUD USD. Now AUD USD weekly, we have a bearish sorry, it's not bearish candle yet, it hasn't been produced yet, it's in the works. I'm just going to get these lines moved out of the way so it's easier for you guys to see. So okay, so I moved the other line as well. Okay, so we're going to wait for this candle to be produced, and then we are going to wait patiently on the daily, and hopefully we do get a solid sell signal produced on the daily. Now will this carry on going down? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. Price did move up nicely, but after getting to this top here, it's decided to pull back. Now it pulled back actually lower than this top here, and it's showing rejection at this level. So it's a possibility that price is actually going to turn now and carry on moving down. So we will wait this week and we will see what price action looks like, and if it is a bearish candle, then we will wait patiently on the daily for a sell. Now I'm moving on to Gbp Usd. So Gbp Usd on the daily, we produced a bearish candle on the weekly. So waited for a sell right there would have been actually the sell. So yeah, so the trade was actually here. So you would have been, if you entered, 131 pips in profit. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait and see, because this is just the beginning now of this move. I'm expecting price to get to this top here, and now there's enough space on the daily, at least what, 100 to 300 pips gap there. So maybe we'll get a nice pullback here that will be confirmed with a bullish candle, and possibly we enter a sell. So I'm gonna wait patiently for this pair, and I'm gonna see what happens. Currently my bias is to sell, so we will wait and see how this plays out in the coming weeks, days. Moving on to the next pair, Aud Jpy. Okay, on the weekly we can see this is similar to a pair that we have just discussed. I think it was the USD or Aud CAD, I can't remember now, but it had a similar move like this, so maybe that is a correlating pair, and we can see that we have a bearish candle here signifying possible sideways movement or reversal. Now here is a nice let me see if it's confirmed. Yes, so there is a sell there, but obviously you can see the signal is not that strong. It's not a strong break, so strong move up and now a pullback. I would hesitate to actually take a sell there. I wouldn't even think about taking a sell there. So I'm going to carry on waiting. Hopefully it pulls back even further and then gives us a nice strong bullish candle so we can enter for a buy on the daily. Moving on to Euro AUD. Now Euro AUD, I'm just going to move this along. Okay, so the Euro AUD on the weekly, we can see a nice bullish candle being produced. Now Euro AUD, what happened with this one? Did I enter a buy? Okay, so I didn't enter anything on the Euro AUD, but this is producing a significant bullish candle. So will this be a pullback, or will this be completely change of trend direction? I do not know, but when that does close as a bullish engulfing, which if it does close above, then it's classed as a bullish engulfing. So we may you will get like some sort of valid buy signal. You will get it like here now. That is a valid buy setup. You can buy it, but the problem is you are going against the overall trend direction. So which I wouldn't advise anyone to do unless I guess you're proper experienced in counter trading. So I'm gonna wait for the pullback to finish. I'll wait patiently. I'm good at doing that, and I'll see what the market wants to do. I'm just curious on the 4-hour. Yeah, so the 4-hour, anybody trading the 4-hour would be able to buy into this market. You will get a buy setup for sure on the 4-hour. If that is something that takes your fancy, then by all means. But for me, I prefer to stick to the daily. Okay, I'm gonna move on from this pair. Our bias is to sell this market if a valid pullback is produced, but there is also a possibility that the direction of the market might turn into a buy. So we are waiting patiently to see what happens. Moving on to Eurogbp Daily. Okay, so now this pair, I don't want to trade this pair. I just don't like trading it. But since as though I have gained new insight into how I look at the markets now by gaining experience from the weekly chart. I am going to look at this and I'm going to see what this looks like. So okay, yeah, so the moves are not that great. You can see it here, can't you? This one would have been a possible good one. Let me just scroll back so everyone can see. Yeah, so you see, okay, this is okay. So yeah, I mean, it would have been a good trade, but it would have been a scary one because you could see the movement on this pair. Wow, so after entering that pair, right, it would have gone against you. It would have gone against you 41 pips, so for sure you would have been taken out of that trade. I would have been taken out of that trade if I entered at that time. Without a shadow of a doubt, I would have been taken out. So when it's like this, I do not like trading it. That's why I told you guys, when I see these wicks, this is something I tend to stay away from. So that's what I'm gonna do. Follow my plan. Ain't gonna be messing with this pair. It's just too much volatility for my liking. Okay, on the weekly here on Gbp Jpy, we have a nice pullback, and this is what I'm looking for. We had a nice sell, as you might be aware. I did call this sell earlier on in my videos that you would be able to take this sell, but I did highlight this here, that there's a possibility that price might just come next to this zone and then just turn around. So there is something that I wouldn't be getting into, and it looks like this is exactly what is happening with this daily rejection candle here, this rejection wick, sorry. This could be the beginning of a sideways movement and then back up again. So we will carry on waiting to see if we get a nice nice bullish candle so we can buy into the market. Moving on to the USD CAD. Now I'm going to move on to the weekly time frame. And now this is a nice candle here, and we ended up getting a pullback candle there. So now we can see that being highlighted here. Anyone on a lower time frame possibly would have been able to buy and make some pips here. Now where is this market likely to pull back to? That is the question. So before making a lower low, the market's decided to pull back, which isn't really a good sign. So maybe this is signifying that prices have found support at that level. If you look a bit to the left, you can see that same level being respected and then broken, and then price quickly coming back over and respecting this level again. So maybe we are going to see a beginning of a bullish, a buy trend happening. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this develops, and I will keep you guys posted on this pair. Moving on to AUD NZD. Let's go to the weekly chart. As I suspected, this was a fakey, I think it is they call it, or whatever. Basically, where they induce everyone to go in to buy, showing you a strong uptrend, only to reverse and go in the direction that it was currently going in. We could see this bearish candle, bullish candle did not close higher, and now we had a significant move down. Both prices are closing higher. Did you see that move just there? My goodness me, did you see how that moved? Wow. Okay. Yeah, so if this does close lower, then I would be expecting a nice sell signal, and I will get in for a sell. So maybe we do not have to wait a couple of weeks for this. This may be ready for us next week, so fingers crossed on that. Let's move on to CAD Chef. Now catch, just one moment please guys, just gonna take a second. Okay, so another bite of my sandwich. Yeah, so we can see this top here, rejection of this level. Now this pullback here, how is this pullback going to finish? Is it going to finish with a nice bullish candle in the next couple of weeks, maybe next week, maybe this week, who knows? But if a bullish candle is produced, then I would be looking to actually buy the market. But there is a chance from this level, as you can see on the weekly, we may get a significant move down. So we're going to carry on monitoring this pair to see what happens, how it plays out, and I'll keep you posted on this one as well. Moving on to the EuroCAD. So EuroCAD is currently in a downtrend. we saw a bullish candle there, then we saw a bearish candle being produced. Now we are at a significant support level here, and price seems to be closing lower every single time. So let's see. Now you can see the price action here on the daily is looking quite dangerous. Wow. Okay. So realistically, if you did get into a sell here, oh my god, you would be in this trade for a very long time if the market carries on going sideways. And most likely, if this is going to move up, yeah, you would have been stopped out because it's sideways movement. So definitely I ain't getting in for a sell here at the moment, and I'm gonna let the market do its thing here, and it will give us a clear direction when it's ready. I guarantee you that. So excuse me, let's move on to the Euro NZD. So we said it's broken this level and targeting lower prices. We are getting a nice pullback candle here. Moving on to the daily, we can see we have got a valid buy signal right there. Price will come back, possibly test this recent high and then move up, but the problem is the overall direction is down. So you know, you ain't going to be in that counter trend for long time, I suspect. So next week we're going to see how this closes. Possible the following week is going to pull back. Maybe we'll get 3 weeks of pullback. Maybe it'll display as sideways movement, you know, just taking out people's stops and stuff like that here on the daily. Or maybe you'll get a legitimate buy and you'll get a 1 or 2 candle movement up. So you know, if you feel confident in taking a counter trend at this stage, by all means, that's all on you guys. You make the decisions yourself. I'm not encouraging you to take that trade. I certainly wouldn't do that. So I'm going to wait patiently for this, and hopefully we will have a nice profitable trade down here, testing this low. Hopefully this low, because it's broke here, but we can see this high. Can you see it? High turned into support. So my guess is that's been support there before and before. So who knows, you know, we don't need to go all the way back to Timbuktu, but you know, these levels do get respected in the future. It just happens, you know. Price has been there and price is here now in the future at the same place. So are we most likely to see a reversal? Possibly, but I do believe the market will show us which way it wants to go, and then we will get a chance to get into the trade. Okay, so let's wait patiently and see what happens. Moving on to Gbp Aud. Just gonna get rid of these lines. Okay, so we did see a nice down move here. We saw a pullback and then we saw another sell here, which was very good. Actually, I would have taken that sell without a doubt, because it crossed the 10. I would definitely take that. Yeah, I would have took that, and this would have been a nice trade. So now we are produced with a bullish candle, so we need to see what happens at this level. We may see a nice setup for a buy crossing the 10, so we are going to wait patiently for this one, and we're going to move on to GBP CAD. So GBP CAD, wow, we're at this level. As you can see, I'm just going to get rid of these lines for everyone. And sorry, yep, yeah, so this move started way up here and it's still going, so I don't want to be messing with this pair at the moment. There is nothing there for me. I will wait to see what happens with this pair in the coming weeks. So moving on to the next pair, which is the GBP Chef. Okay, so the GBP Chef is a bit like another pair that we were watching that had a same kind of structure like this. Overall direction is down, and this is another lower high. Okay, and as you can see, price moving further down. So price actually broke here, okay, and now broke below the 50. So would have got into a sell there, wouldn't have been respected, wouldn't have come back and pulled you in. So this would have been the actual setup for you to get in right there, and then you would have been in this trade up until now. So hopefully we get a pullback. Hopefully we don't lose out on this move down. Hoping that it will give us a slight pullback and give us an opportunity to get into this trade, to take the trade lower, so we get a nice profit. Moving on to GBP NZD. We are on the weekly chart, and the weekly chart looks like we are being produced with a bullish candle, but we will wait and see what happens. I can't really tell the direction of okay, sideways. I'm just gonna call it that anyway, but whoa, wrong line. Here is where I would have been interested. So yeah, so I didn't get respected. I would have been respected right there. So guys, this trade is still continuing, so maybe it would have been a break-even trade. This one definitely, I'm guessing definite this would have been a break-even trade, because after that candle was produced, I would have most likely, because of these 2 wicks, I may have moved my stop loss down. I don't know. Usually I just do not move my stop loss at all. I'm happy with where I place my stop loss, but you know, sometimes I do make mistakes like I did on the other one, as I was explaining at the beginning of the video. You know, psychologically, the your mind, it just plays tricks on you, doesn't it? Yeah, so this trade is still running, and if this produces a pullback here, then anyone in this trade may want to think about actually pulling their stop loss to break even about now. Why? Because this here, this candle, you know, you can see this support area there, and this is where it's having a problem. The price is struggling around here now, so you're gonna have to wait this whole week to see what happens. But for safety, if I was in this trade right now, I'm sure I would bring my stop loss down to at least break even, or I would have halved my stop loss to minimize the full amount. So just say that it was a £3 stop, I would have pulled it down to 150 just to minimize it a bit more. Why? Because of this, like, you know, this may be a pullback. So if it's a pullback, you can guarantee any money that your stop loss, whether it's £3 or not, it will be wiped out. So if you see the signals, if you see the alarm bells ringing way before it's going to get to your trade, then you might as well make preparations to minimize that loss. I don't see any problem actually in doing that. I think that's actually being smart. That's smart trading, I think, because the aim of trading is to grow your capital to a certain amount where you can start drawing out profits continuously, and you know, just being successful like that. So I'm gonna wait and see how this one plays out. You know, it was a nice trade setup, very nice trade, but unfortunately this level here is causing problems. NZD card, I'm gonna go to the weekly and take a look at this. So price did pull back here, and now this will be the key candle for me. I will have to wait and see what happens at the end of this week, but we may get a nice sell signal forming on this pair. But the problem is you know, these lows here, I mean, it just looks too choppy here. You know, you can see that they're even giving you a sell signal. Would it honor it and carry on going down and test this low? Would it break below? I don't know. So I'm just gonna I am gonna watch it, and if the sell signal does produce next week, and judging by how I feel and what it looks like, the price action, and if it just doesn't sit right with me, then I won't take it. If it does, then I will take it. So stay tuned for that one. NZD chef. Okay, on the weekly we can see the overall move is down, okay, but this here is a break of this trend, okay, because it's closed higher than that high and then made another higher low. So after a pullback here, you see, this is where the problem is. It moved back, right, and then it failed to move higher than this, and it pulled back, failed to move higher than that, then pulled back. So this now is indicating maybe we're going to get another drop down. Okay, so we don't know. Let's see if it confirms it in this week. If it does confirm it, I will not go off just that one weekly candle actually. I will wait patiently for the price to completely close below the 50, just to, you know, just to be that extra cautious. That price is actually now gonna move down. So that's my outlook currently on these pairs. You have seen how my trades ended up this week. I hope that all of this was beneficial to you guys. I hope that you guys actually learned something, or I was able to benefit you guys by taking these trades. So I also learned a lot this week from trading. I learned how important the weekly chart is for me. I'm trading on the daily, and my time frame is definitely my guide. My GPS is definitely the weekly. So I'm gonna put this into practice on what I have learned on the weekly chart and how to use the weekly chart to my advantage, and hopefully I will be able to increase the size of my account to a substantial amount of money. I hope all of you do subscribe, like, comment and share, and leave your questions below, and stick with me just to see how this plays out, and do I ever get to actually increase my account. I am currently in a trade. As you know, Euro USD is for a sell. Obviously you can see that it is close to being triggered, but has not been triggered yet. So I will keep you informed on this tomorrow, and thank you for everyone watching. Have a good night, have a good day, and I will see you on the next video.